that week as well. So that was exciting for us to have that representation there. During the month of January, we also celebrated the 100th day of school, believe it or not, even though it felt like we were out of school more than in, but we did reach that milestone, and a few of our teachers, especially in the elementary, we were able to celebrate through different reading and writing activities. And some even dressed up as 100-year-olds. That's always cute to see with them. We also had some community outreach where we had a few field trips where Coach Johnson, he took the dream team and they helped serve at the Special Olympics. So that was a good opportunity with them. And then Miss Nicola with Ayla, she took just over 20 students to ACC on the 7th of this month. And we are currently having school tours going on. We had our first, Saturday tours this past Saturday as well. So yeah, people that are interested can call and schedule an appointment through the month of March for that. And finally, I guess I'll go ahead and mention as well, both campuses did have our fire drills and they were successful.
All righty, thank you. Dr. Morris, the college and career promise parameters.
Yes, I want to take a moment to talk with the board about some college or career and college promise. It's a program through Alamance Community College that serves the majority juniors and seniors. And I have created some guidelines for us to help with consistency within our programming at Clover Garden. I've met and collaborated with a lot of people over the past month and a half to kind of see what are other schools doing, what does ACC recommend. And so what I put together for you in the board folder is the guidelines that we would like to begin following in the 25-26 school year to help promote the success of our students currently in that program and for future students coming to us into that program. The whole purpose of the Career and College Promise is to provide students, high school students, the opportunity to earn some college credits while they're in high school. We do have some students who strive to graduate high school with their high school diploma and their associate's degree. But some of the things that would be changing and updating through these guidelines in place. Currently, we're at the 2.8 GPA, which is the Alamance Community College GPA requirement. And I like to call it our advising team, made up of Ms. Walker, our registrar, Ms. Ladd, and myself. We've done quite a few transcript audits of our students here. We've looked at grades semester by semester and discovered that some of our students meet the 2.8 criteria, but they've not had many of those core courses that would show that college readiness. And that's something that ACC is looking for when we do these applications for our students. Are they college ready? Can they handle that rigor of college level courses at the high school age? And so that is something that you will see in these guidelines. We do have a few sophomores that meet some special criteria to be a part of the Career and College Promise. Those are very small numbers. However, we have included those in these guidelines. One biggest change is the fact that we are asking for our students to go to their classes in person at ACC's campus. Reason being, just this year, we had in-person teachers on our campus in the fall. And if you look at those students' performance, their academic behaviors, they were really starting to dig in and show that college readiness. Several of our students decided, I'm going to try this online thing. And unfortunately, the little bit of data I have just from this semester since they started on January 6th is online learning is hard, especially a college level course online learning. And so that is why we are, stating in the guidelines that they would go and actually attend that class on AC's campus. So they have that instructor that they can ask a question to instead of having to wait 24 hours for a response via email. The other change that's coming is not on our part, but from Alamance Community College. So they've started with some 8-week courses. Next school year, they're planning on offering the majority of their courses as 8-week courses. That in itself is a challenge because you're thinking about 16 weeks in a college course as a 16-year-old, going to 8 weeks in a college course as a 16-year-old. Not necessarily with an instructor in front of you. That again supports the reason our students need to be on campus to have that interaction with those instructors. So we have a lot of change going on. And so we wanted to make sure that we had procedures and some guidelines in place to help support the academic success of our students, because we do have high standards. But we want them to be successful because, as you all know, your college transcript goes with you forever. And errors in, oh, I just took too many classes and I failed two and, made a D in one. First of those, they don't transfer because you have to have a C or better. The other thing is that's permanently on your college record. It affects where you may want to go to college. And even though it's a great opportunity, we want to make sure that it's reasonable and that we are supportive of it with safeguards for our students who at 16 may not be thinking about all of those avenues. And so those were some of the things I just wanted to mention about the guidelines for the upcoming school year.
I have a question. With taking a course on, in person, what do the hours of those typically look like? Are they during the day, during the school day?
Yes,
Okay.
and speaking with our advisor over at ACC, the majority of the career and college prep classes happen in the morning time. They typically try to have them out before lunch. Sometimes in the afternoons, you may get into a lab situation, but those classes are typically done by the older students. Most of our students, their classes are currently online, but they are offered during the morning hours. And so it would be more of an 8 to a 12 type of time frame where they would have in-person classes. And we do have 2 students who are managing coming to school for first period, going to ACC, taking their class over there, and then coming back for the rest of their classes here. And so we're working with those students to make sure they have the best of both worlds.
For students that do go this route, do they have an advisor here that kind of helps them with like making sure, I'm assuming you guys do it, but they like kind of meet with you guys and make sure that they're doing all of the Clover Garden standards and courses as well as those? What does that look like for students that want to do this?
So, coming soon, actually, hopefully next week, Ms. Gladys, Ms. Walker, and myself are setting up meetings with students and inviting the parents to participate via Zoom, so they can better understand the program. But we actually sit down with the students and kind of help them understand what CCP is, the responsibility that comes with that type of involvement at a community college and doing high school together, and guide them in the best way that we can for them to meet their goal, whether it's just to get some of those dual high school credits or to move on to an associate's degree. But right now, your advising department are 2 admin and Ms. Walker. And so that's something that we've been working with the kids. Thankfully, I've been receiving alerts, like if a student's having an attendance problem or if they're having an academic problem. We get alerts. The first time we just talk with the student, the second time I'm talking with the student and parents. That's a little above and beyond, but sometimes I just want to make sure that, if you're at the 4th week in this semester and you're getting academic alerts, you don't have long to turn it around, and this stays on your transcript forever. And that's hard for them to think about because they're building their college transcript. And, at 16, I don't know that I would have been responsible enough to think about, this is going to impact me going to the college of my choice. And so we do spend a lot of time speaking with those students and meeting with those students.
Thank you.
I got a question too. How does this affect those who are already enrolled in the CCP program, and how they're already managing the I guess the course load of college and the changes that could be implemented?
The majority of them are juniors who will be moving into their senior year. So in looking at the recommendations from ACC to where students don't take any more than 5 courses a semester, that's still what it is now. But when you look at that in an 8-week time frame, there's 2 sessions, 2 8-week sessions a semester. So they would take 2 that first semester. If they've shown that they've been able to handle that rigor, that online course, or not having to go in person, they're seniors. They'll still be able to have that flexibility. This really impacts our new 2 CCP students who are Horizon 11th graders and then our Horizon 10th graders. But the seniors typically will not be impacted by this unless they haven't shown the ability to manage what they've taken on this semester.
My one question is these new guidelines, and I understand it's pretty rigorous, especially with the 8-week courses. That makes a lot of sense. Say we have a student who is nailing it, doing awesome, really wants to do 3 courses in an 8-week course. Is there any way around that in the future? Or is this is hard and fast, there will not be exceptions no matter what?
That would have to be something we looked at on an individual student basis.
Okay.
We don't want to hinder anyone. However, we have to help them be realistic.
Absolutely.
What we're experiencing now that there are several students who have taken on too much.
Yeah.
And now it's, oh, I got to drop this class, or I'm gonna fail this class. And, you know, ACC doesn't recommend having any what they call WPs, the withdrawal pass.
Yep.
They don't recommend many of those because that does show up on your college transcript unless you take that course over and replace that WP with an actual grade. So it would have to be on an individual basis. And again, our team would come together to discuss, you know, has the student shown that they are capable? And provide them the opportunities that they need to be successful.
Perfect, thank you.
Any other questions? And Dr. Morris, I just want to make sure I'm correct. This does need to be approved to go into our policies and procedures manuals. All right. Do I have a motion to approve the guidelines as presented for the college and career promise parameters? Ms. Gould, Ms. Russell, second. All in favor? Thank you. All righty, and that moves us right along to old business. Ms. Veraken, the safety plan?
I have more to come, probably in the upcoming meetings for that. That has to be submitted in May, so you'll see more, but it's not today.
All right, perfect. And the 2026 charter renewal, any new information?
Yeah, I just want to shout everybody out and say thank you. That was a very intense day. We all wanted to do really well on that. And so thank you to the board members who sat in on that. That was fantastic. We had staff members, we had parents. It was really cool. And so it was a great opportunity. We did get some like preliminary feedback, which was, like I said, it was good. She's gonna give us a report. She said she'd probably be able to have it to me by the end of this week. So I'm hoping maybe by the next board meeting, I'll be able to share some more feedback with you guys, once it's official. And then on that document, we'll have like areas for room for improvement, and areas, that we'll need to focus on moving forward. But overall, like I said, it was a great meeting, and I appreciate everybody that took the time to answer the questions. I greatly appreciate that, and I look forward to, like I said, getting her official feedback. We've already started on a couple of the little things that she saw, in regards to like things that were posted on the website and just accessibility to all. And so, again, we're kind of looking forward to that feedback and being able to utilize that. So as we move forward and then next steps, as we go into next school year.
Perfect. All righty, and into governance. The governance committee does not have anything at this time. Does the finance have any updates?
None at this time.
Academic updates.
Ms. Whitfield shared with us, middle of the MOI, middle of the year check-ins, and, we're noting some progress and also, trying to figure out some ways to fill in some gaps for those that are not maybe making the progress we'd like to see, but, we are moving ahead, so.
Perfect. Anything for long-range planning?
Nothing to report this time.
Perfect. And fundraising. All righty, moving right along to new business. Ms. Veraken, the 2024-2025 calendar amendments.
So put a copy of this in your board folder, but shout out to the admin team for looking at this. So every year prior, we built in like 10 snow days, okay? Never used all 10 days, okay? So Ms. Reagan said, cut it in half, we'll be fine, we haven't used it. And then the groundhog, you know, the whole thing, got more winter, all the things, okay? So we have burned through every day that we have built into our calendar between hurricane days, okay, back in the fall, to inclement weather days that we have had as of recent since January started. So unfortunately, we will have to make up some time, okay? So we burned through all of our time that we had built in and we're having to make some time up. So again, looking at the rest of the school year, we're almost in March, which is crazy, but there are some days we would like to utilize. And I would like to kind of get this kind of perused over and maybe voted on so that I can share this with our family so they can start kind of making plans. But we would like to, if you kind of look at my little notes, we would like to change a couple of half days. So we've got a half day coming up in March on the 5th. And we have a half day coming up in April on the 30th. We'd like to convert both of those and make those into full school days. That'll help us get some of our hours back. And then on the 21st of March, that was initially a mental health day. We would like to use that as a school day. So using that now as a full school day. This might seem counterproductive, but I do need an adjustment that those are days that we would be making up for the weather, things like that, and it would build us in a couple of extra hours. And I say a couple, we might be able to get away with one more delay, and then we may have to start taking from spring break. And so we do wanna kind of put that at the 21st of April on everybody's radar, because if we do miss any more time, full day, we may have to start using some of our spring break week. So putting that as a, you know, contingency if we use those dates or we have to use more time. But I do need the 21st, so of May. Our schedule is a little wonky this year in regards to graduation and things like that. So in order for us to be able to get everything in when it comes to like graduation, staging, like all of that stuff with the stage and the chairs and all the stuff set up, we really need a half day on the 21st. Because graduation, as you see, is on that Thursday, the 22nd, and that doesn't leave any time the way the current schedule allows for us to be able to get everything set up and get the kids to practice and do all of the traditional senior activities that we do. So we would like to build in the 21st as a half day. And then again, the 22nd is a regular day, of course, like normal, and then the 23rd will be the last day of school. So, that's just one adjustment that's not weather related, but it just comes to logistics and things like that for the end of the school year, you know, being able to utilize both campuses, so.
I have a question on that. The half days are typically used for PD, is that right?
Yes,
So what would that look like for staff? There's no PD on that day?
on the 21st.
On the half days that are made into full days?
Yeah, so you guys, they would just have to reallocate whoever they have signed up for that day. So they would it would either become adding on to maybe the swap out for a staff meeting, or something like that, one of their afternoons. So teachers have like Mondays and Wednesdays designated for different meetings. And so it would just kind of take the place of one of those. And or if it were something that maybe during the school day, they may have where subs come in and do trainings, you know, for the teachers during the actual school day.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Just clarifying that last week of school.
Uh-huh.
So the last day is Friday, the 23rd,
Right.
correct? Okay. So we're changing the 21st to a half day. How does that impact testing at all and awards days? Because I know normally we've got awards one morning. Is it Monday and Tuesday we usually do awards?
Typically, yeah, so typically awards for K through 8 are on that Monday and Tuesday that week. So
Okay.
rarely, that's kind of what we've drafted out, is that the awards would be in the afternoons of those first 2 days. But we haven't solidified that, we haven't sent that out to families or anything yet. And then that Wednesday, typically, the way we preliminary are looking at it is that will be our pep rally day. So our big senior pep
Okay.
rally, that's all the fun, all the excitement, all the
Perfect.
good stuff, would be that Wednesday, the 21st. And then everybody would leave, you know, half a day. And then the seniors would stay after to do practice, and then they do like their field day activities and things like that as they finish the delivery of all the staging equipment.
Okay.
And then on that third, so we did have to move one assessment, I don't think it was a high school assessment, a 10th grade assessment, I think got moved to that Thursday.
Any other questions? All righty, do I have a motion to amend the calendar as follows for March 5th and April 30th from half days to full days? March 21st from a full day from a mental health day, and May 21st to a half day. Do I have Mr. Young, second, Ms. Russell, all in favor? Thank you. All righty, that brings us to the closed session portion. According to General Statute 143-318.11, subsection A, subsection 1, do I have a motion to move into closed session at this time? Mr. Russell, second. Ms. Foster, all in favor?